What we're doing with these sections is we're actually going to blend 8.4 and 8.5 together because 8.4 teaches a couple different ways to solve a proportion, and then 8.5 teaches one other way. So basically I just kind of combined the sections into one PowerPoint. We'll cover some of it today, and we'll cover some of it tomorrow. It'll be kind of like a two-part lesson. All right, so today we're going to focus on the three methods for solving proportions. So there's more than one way that you can get to the right answer. So we're going to look at each one of those. Okay, so here's the definition. A proportion is an equation that shows that two ratios are equivalent. Now, it might not look like they're equivalent right now, but remember, they have to be in simplest form. So 6/10 in simplest form is what? 3/5 equals 3/5. So in simplest form, they do equal. Okay, 3/5 equals 3/5. All right? Okay, so shows that both sides are equal. All right, go ahead and finish copying that down. Here's the first method. Okay, the first method is equivalent ratios. Basically, what I'm doing with this method is I'm finding the missing link between the two sides of the proportion that I know. Okay, so that would be, in example A, that would be the 30 and the 60. Okay, so I'm looking at 30 to 60, and how can I get from 30 to 60? What am I going to multiply by? I'm going to multiply by 2. So I want you to write this down, and then I want you to fill in what we are going to call the missing link. Okay, so with equivalent ratios, we solve these by finding the missing link. In this case, it's 2. All right, and now I look at where is my variable, or where is my unknown part of the proportion? And that's the direction that we're going. So 30 to 60, do I multiply or divide by 2? Multiply. I multiply. So from 150 to C, I'm going to multiply by 2 as well. Does that make sense?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so 150 times 2 is 300. C equals 300. All right, I want you to try to find the missing link for B. So what do you think is the missing link between 7 and 21?
24.
It's going to be 3. Okay, so 7 times 3 is 21, and then 8 times 3 is 24. Very good. Now, look at C. Now, the difference here is not necessarily the number that's the missing link, okay? So how would I go from 2 to 8 or 8 to 2? What's my missing link?
4.
It's 4, okay? So from 2 to 8, I multiply by 4, but that's not how I'm going to solve this one, because my variable is here. I already heard the answer, okay? So now I have to, no, that's fine. Now I have to go backwards. How do I get from 8 to 2? How do I get from 8 to 2? Do I multiply by 4? No, I have to divide by 4. So now 16 divided by 4 is what?
4.
It's going to be 4. So x equals 4. All right, so you have to look at where is that variable, okay, and how do I get from the side that I know to the side that I don't know? Am I multiplying or dividing? Does that make sense?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, now I want you to turn in your books to page 388. You're going to do numbers 1 through 4. Numbers 1 through 4. Okay, what's the missing link on number 1? 4. And Z equals 4. Very good. What about number 2?
48.
What's the missing link? 6. And what's your answer? 48. Very good. Number 3, missing link? 3. Answer? 36. 36. You don't divide. Remember, you have to look, how do I get from 9 to 27? I multiply by 3, so I have to do the same thing to the bottom, which is multiply, so it's 36. Now on number 4, what's my missing link? 11. Do I multiply or divide? I divide, because look, you're going 99 to 9. That's divide by 11, so you have to do the same thing to 22. So your answer is 2. Who got all 4? Who got all 4? Who just missed 1? Okay, any questions?
So easy.
Okay, so that's your first method. Now, you might say this is very easy, but unfortunately, equivalent ratios does not always work, because if you have the sides of your proportion and there's no whole number that can go into both numbers, then you can't use equivalent ratios. So there's another method that we're going to learn, all right? I want you to make sure you label this part of your notes solving using algebra, just so you can remember the method that you took notes on for example 2, and it's algebra. Now with algebra, we've actually already done this method when we solved equations, because now I'm solving for the side that's connected to my variable. Whatever number is in my denominator, I'm going to multiply both sides by the reciprocal. Okay? 25, both sides. 25, both sides. Okay? Do you see why I multiplied by 25?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, because that's the number connected to my variable. If it was x over 10, I'd multiply both sides by 10. All right, now can I cross-reduce anything on this side?
No. Yes.
Yes, I can. I can cross-reduce 25 and 10 by 5.
I'll just go to the other side.
Okay, and now what do I get when I multiply those fractions? X equals what?
Oh, x equals
30 over
30 over 2.
2. Now, do not leave these fractions for 1, because it would be weird to plug in a fraction back into a fraction. Okay, so in this case, 30 over 2 divides evenly into what? 15. 15. So 15 is going to be my answer. Now, even if it's a decimal, just leave it a decimal. So on B, what am I going to multiply both sides by? 49. Multiply both sides by 49. All right, so when I multiply, are you writing this down?
Yes.
Both sides by 49, can I cross-reduce anything?
Yes. 14 and 49.
Very good. 14 and 49 by 7.
2 and 7. Wait, could you do it?
Okay, and now what do I end up with? M equals 28 over 2. Does that reduce?
Yes.
To what?
14.
Very good. 14. All right, try to solve C on your own. What do I multiply both sides by?
27. Oh, wait, yeah. 27.
Yep, 27 both sides. Can I cross-reduce?
No.
Yep, I sure can. 4 and 9, which becomes 81 over 4. Now, if you miss that, you still should end up with the right answer as long as you divide right. 84 divided by 4 is 20.25. Yes, guys, listen, it's got to be a decimal. It can't be a fraction because, like I just said, you don't want to plug in a fraction where there's already a fraction. Okay?
For some reason, instead of 12, I got...
All right, what was the first method we learned? What was the first method? Equivalent ratios. What was the second method we learned? Solving using algebra. Now we're going to learn one more method, and that's using cross products. Okay? Solving using cross products. Okay, our third method is cross products. Now, like I was just saying, with equivalent ratios, does it work all the time? No, only when the numbers are connected evenly. Algebra only works when the variable is in the numerator. Cross products works 10 times out of 10. It works every single time. It doesn't matter the connection between the numbers. So that's why you're going to see us start to gravitate towards this method to solve proportions. Doesn't mean that the other two methods are, bad to use. It just means that they don't always work. So cross products works every time. So that's why you'll see even in Algebra 1, I believe that this is the only method that they teach. Okay, they kind of steer away from the others. But regardless, you've got to know all three. Okay, I just want to let you know that cross products really is the one that is used most of the time. Okay, so here's how we use cross products. We take the terms that are diagonal from each other and we multiply them together. So what's 2 times D? 2D. 2D. And what's 9 times 3? 27. Okay, and you're going to set up an equation. And now you're going to solve for the variable. Okay, so how do you solve for D? Divide both sides by 2. And D is 13 and a half. Okay, I want you to try to set up this second one over here. Okay, use your cross products to set up an equation, and then if you feel like you can, go ahead and try to solve. All right, so what did you find for the equation? Anybody think they figured it out? Okay, so what I have is 5.5c equals what? What's 2.2 times 11? 24.2. Okay, then anybody divide? What did you divide by? 5.5. And c equals 4.4. Anybody get it right?
No.
Good, good. All right, let's practice 2 of them.
Is this the last example?
Yes, this is the last example for today's lesson. All right, I want you guys to go ahead and try to solve these 2 using cross products. All right, so in the first, number 1, what is going to be your equation once you do cross products? You get 2y equals 50, divide both sides by, and you get y equals, good. Now, number 2, what's going to be your equation? 5d, divide both sides by, and d equals 12. Who got them both right? Awesome, good job. All right, so that's your 3 methods for solving proportions. Tomorrow we're going to talk about actually writing our own proportion. We'll have clues and we'll kind of figure out how to set up a proportion, and then we can use whatever method we want to solve. All right, but these are the 3 methods that we use to solve proportions.